You're listening to the Chic Code Podcast with Wirda Alyssa and Sophia Arissa. All things chic, candid, and comedy. Hey girlies, welcome back to another episode of the Chic Code Podcast, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Bibty Design.
Crafting your dreams and transforming spaces into personal sanctuaries that reflects who you are.
With over 130 positive Google reviews, Bibty Design will deliver end-to-end design excellence with zero consultation fees and stress-free process to adapt to your vision, timeline, or budget for your home or office spaces.
So you can follow them on Instagram at Bibty Design or WhatsApp them at 88752611 to start your design journey today.
Ingat renovasi, ingat Bibty. Thank you, Bibty Design, for powering our episodes. And if you have seen Bibty Design's works yang kita selalu repost dekat kita punya IG stories,
Correct.
it's amazing lah. Their workmanship is really, really good. Wow, ada sampai video abang pakai helmet.
Betul. Yeah.
Yes.
So the recent one, the latest one that dorang post is like a renovation work of a 4-room resale flat. So the project is around $70,000. So you can see lah $70,000 tu roughly dia boleh dapat apa.
Betul.
Kan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing before and after.
Yes, masih tengah ongoing tu.
Correct.
Yes. Ada juga tadi 4-room resale. Lepas ni ada 4-room BTO juga. Project amount is $35,000. So they're very transparent in their pricings. You can see. And see from the caption lah. Macam they include the punya price for each project tu macam mana. And then korang boleh tanya lah, oh okay, harga macam ni apa yang included bang? Harga macam ni macam mana? Korang boleh tanya. Yes, kita pun ada buat video juga dengan Bibty Design. Korang boleh check out. It's one of the pinned videos on their Instagram page. Okay, so hari ini kita nak buat cerita hantu. Oh,
Excuse me.
cerita hantu.
Cerita hantu.
Kelakar seram. Ada orang komen CHKS tu tandanya apa? Cerita hantu kelakar seram. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Kau ada cerita?
Jiran sebelah rumah I bomo. Hi Rida dan Sophia, I'm your listener from Malaysia. I nak share dengan korang my experience duduk dengan jiran I yang merupakan seorang bomo. But please keep me anonymous. Kita kasih nama nenek ni Nek Ja.
Okay.
For your information, I duduk dekat residential area, tapi rumah I ni dekat lorong yang hujung and agak jauh daripada lorong yang lain. Okay, I think yang paling corner sekali lah,
corner
kan?
unit lah. Alright.
Okay, kiranya kat lorong rumah I tu ada dalam 4-5 rumah je. Masa awal-awal kita beli rumah tu, everything okay je. Lepas tu Nek Ja ni pun nice je lah. Tapi one day kita orang mula rasa tak sedap hati. Banyak benda pelik jadi apabila kita orang nampak tetamu selalu datang rumah dia, especially waktu malam nak minta buat air jampi lah, ubatkan anak, etc. Paginya tu mesti belakang rumah dia ada macam-macam bunga berselerakkan atas lantai halaman belakang rumah dia tau. By the way, tak ada dinding penghalang sebab tu boleh nampak.
Okay.
My mum tak adalah tanya Nek Ja apa-apa sebab nanti nampak macam kurang ajar. Lagipun dia sangat jarang ia keluar rumah. Lagi meyakinkan kita orang yang dia ni bomo bila hampir setiap minggu ada tetamu dia yang datang mesti menjerit macam kena rasuk. Kuat gila kadang sampai baby jiran I yang jaraknya 3 rumah daripada rumah Nek Ja pun boleh menangis sebab terkejut. Kita orang taklah kisah sangat tapi mula tak selesa lah bila dah start mengganggu kami sekeluarga. For your info, adik my mum tinggal dengan kita orang tau. So her aunt lah kan. And dia ni jenis yang mudah kena histeria tau.
Okay.
Tapi dulu tak adalah kerap sangat. Tu pun masa dia duduk hostel je. Tapi semenjak duduk rumah ni, dia start asyik meracau. Nampak benda bukan-bukan. For example, nampak makhluk dengan tangan berbulu try nak panjat dinding pembatas antara rumah I dengan rumah Nek Jah. Tapi benda tu memanjat nak ke rumah kita orang. Tambahan pula, I sendiri pun pernah nampak Kak Pon duduk atas almari bilik I. Bilik I kongsi dinding dengan rumah dia. My mum panggil ustaz untuk ruqyah, and guess what? Ustaz tu kata ada something ditanam sekitar rumah I. And ustaz tu pun buang serta buat pendinding. Lepas tu keadaan rumah kita orang kembali back to normal. Bila benda tu berlaku, my mum baru teringat satu hari ni, masa tu my mum borak dengan Nek Jah. Tiba-tiba Nek Jah mention yang dia kata dulu dia nak suruh anak dia beli rumah yang kita orang duduk ni supaya dia dapat duduk dengan cucu dia. Tapi dia kata terlambat pula sebab kita orang dah beli dulu. Dulu my mum tak adalah syak apa-apa sebab dia cerita tu biasa je. Tapi rupanya Raya tahun ni kita orang naklah mengeratkan ukhuwah, and we decided untuk beraya lah kat rumah dia. Masa beraya tu okey je, dia pun ramah je, kita orang borak apa semua. Tapi malam lepas beraya tu I tidurlah macam biasa sebab rasa macam tak ada apa kan. Rupanya kau I mimpi benda merepek and menyeramkan. Mimpi tu fresh dalam otak I lagi. I masih ingat dalam mimpi tu I baring and tengah scroll TikTok and tengah tengok video seram. Dalam video tu bayangkan yang you baring atas katil, lepas tu ada someone tinggi hitam tak nampak apa membongkok kat katil yang baring you, tapi merenung menghadapan muka you yang tengah baring ni dalam posisi yang dekat gila dengan muka you. But bila I scroll lagi video sama keluar, bila dah banyak kali scroll tu I cuak and baru baca bismillah, tiba-tiba mimpi tu hilang and boom, tiba-tiba aku macam tersedar dari mimpi tu, tengah tidur atas riba seorang perempuan yang pakai serba putih and nampak baik. I ceritalah apa yang I nampak dekat perempuan tu, tapi dia kata oh je, dan I terus tersedar. I mimpi dalam mimpi.
Aku rasa
I ceritalah apa yang I mimpi ni kat mak I. Lepas tu mak I kata mungkin yang lembaga hitam tu Nek Jah tu punya belaan. Tu sebab ustaz yang rawat kita orang tu pun pernah kata yang jaga rumah jiran I tu hantu raya, dan fizikal dia sebiji macam apa yang I describe kat my mum. Manakala perempuan baju serba putih tu macam saka atau I don't lah, penjaga ke apa kat dalam family I. Sebab I pernah dengar dulu moyang-moyang I cerita yang family kita orang ni ada yang jaga. Tapi ia tidak, I tak tahulah.
Okay.
That's all from me, Wirda dengan Sofia. Sebenarnya I ada banyak gila pengalaman yang seram-seram lagi mengenai pengalaman I duduk asrama berkenaan saka apa bagai ni. Tapi ada masa nanti I share. I harap you guys sentiasa dipermudahkan rezeki.
Amin.
Sorry, dia tak ada cakap tu. I harap you guys sentiasa dimudahkan urusan dan diberikan kebahagiaan disebabkan podcast you guys berjaya memberi senyuman dan mood yang positif kepada semua pendengar.
Amin.
Amin. Thank you so much.
Oh wow, to have a jiran that is bomoh is wild. What would you do? Sebab kau takkan tahu.
Sih.
Kau takkan tahu. Singapore punya konteks, kau dah move in, kena stay 5 tahun.
Baru kau boleh jual. And
Kau
baru kau boleh rent kan?
Yes. Correct. So kau tak akan tahu jiran-jiran kau ni sasui ke tidak.
Yeah,
Actually it's quite,
why
it's quite scary lah. Tapi bila aku beli aku punya resale house last time, the house owners, when we did the viewing, she was so nice because aku cakap I really love the unit, so she know lah we're gonna buy, right? So I think the second, itu kita dah confirm the option fees, dah confirm. The second time we went, they knock on every neighbour's door.
Siapa?
And aku punya yang previous house owner. So they knock and then semua buka. Just want to introduce this one, be your new neighbour. Okay, she's buying our house, blah blah. We'll be moving out, so she's your new neighbour. Let me introduce you to
that's
to every
nice.
door.
Wow, that's
so ada yang muka macam okay, hello. So from there aku kenal all the neighbours on my level lah. But that was really nice of her to do that.
Nice, yeah.
Formally introduce.
Is it?
Yeah. Tapi itulah, kalau kau tak tahu, itu sangat menyeramkan. And kau tak boleh buat apa dah.
Kan?
Kau kena tinggal juga kat situ.
Yeah.
Alright.
Actually it's a rezeki dapat jiran baik.
Ya betul, sangat. Ya, okay. Aku ada satu cerita ni. Solat tapi rukuk terbalik.
Allahu Akbar.
Ya.
Panjat aku.
Hi TCC, before I share cerita seram I just nak cakap I really enjoy your content, especially CHKS. I tak ada cerita seram kelakar, tapi ada yang real seram. Harap boleh share lah. Hihi. First of all, I'm from Sabah and I stayed in one of the local public universities in Kota Kinabalu. But this didn't happen to me. It happened to my roommate. So basically, we stay on the 4th floor of our hostel, like literally the highest level. Our room was facing the sea, got a very nice sunset view, super pretty during the day. But at night, yeah, the vibe was kind of off. Our room ada 4 orang. And if you got the lower bunk, it was really, really hot. The fan barely reached. So almost every night, 3 of us would just pull our mattresses down and sleep on the floor. There was one roommate who preferred sleeping on her own bed. And that night, one of my roommate, let's call her Lily, who usually sleep on the floor with us, randomly decided to sleep on the top bunk. She said she was too lazy to bring her mattress down. So me and the other roommate, Orchid, just slept on the floor like usual. I usually sleep late, macam pukul 3-4 pagi kind of late. That night I was trying to sleep around 3-ish. The room was dark, just a faint light from a small ring light, just enough to see a bit. So I closed my eyes, trying to force myself to sleep. And then suddenly, boom! Lily, who was sleeping on the top bunk, jumped down. Like literally jumped. In the dark. She didn't say anything, didn't explain. She just quickly pulled her mattress down. The sound was so loud, it woke all of us up. We were like, "Hey, what happened?"
Yelah, tiba-tiba dia terjun gitu.
Landing kena betul. She didn't answer. So we didn't push her lah. We just waited until the next morning. And the next day we asked her again. And what Lily said still gave me chills. Lily cakap, dia nampak a figure wearing a white telekung, standing. And that figure was right next to me. Like literally at the end of my mattress. But here's the thing. You solat, you supposed to face the Qiblat kan? In our room, the Qiblat was towards the study table. It was supposed to be facing the window. At first Lily thought it was normal. Until she realised benda tu merukuk facing the door. And not a normal rukuk. The body bent backwards.
Oh, faham.
Not forward. Like the spine was bending the wrong way.
Faham.
Like it wasn't supposed to move like that. And at that time, everyone in the room was asleep, including the Muslim roommate. So who was that? That's why Lily panicked and jumped down immediately.
Oh, yelah.
She didn't even care how loud it was. And honestly, if I saw something like that, I would run too. Who prays at 3 a.m. facing the wrong direction? I actually have more stories from that hostel, especially when I stayed there alone during semester break. But maybe next time. Because even writing this already felt creepy. Love you guys, seriously. Thanks for always making my nights less boring. Wishing you all the best in everything that you do. Really hope you guys read my story on CHKS one day, and I'd love to hear your reactions. And if you do, I might come back with more stories from that hostel. Sure lah, kalau merukuk band yang pelik is...
It's like band gini tau. Kau tahu macam kau punya pinggang sakit, betul kau macam...
Hey,
so kau
what
imagine.
sound is that all lawi?
Melan ni.
Palan ni.
So kau imagine kau like...
Dah gitu tak apa, dia boleh gini tu dia crawl kat kau.
Yeah. Sinister.
Yes, this is the word. This is the word. I cannot when figures have very weird bent body. Like,
Oh, faham.
it's creepy.
Yup.
Like, where's your spine? Okay. Next story, please.
Story. Alright. Hi dan Assalamualaikum Chic Code. I'm a fan from Malaysia. I love your podcast. I listen to you guys every time I naik LRT pergi kerja. Dah tak dengar lagu dan on Spotify. Ha ha ha. Semua podcast kurang je. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I actually have a few stories that happened to me and my family. Honestly, I dah biasa kena kacau. Even kena tindih time tidur pun macam normal. But ada a few stories yang memang I takkan lupa. For this email, I share 2 stories je dulu. So tak panjang sangat, okay? So story number 1. Siapa perlu I? So I was sleeping in my room and suddenly kena tindih. Tapi kali ni, for some reason, I rasa takut gila. So bila I dah sedar, I terus lari pergi bilik kakak I and sambung tidur dekat sana. Tengah tidur tu, I rasa macam ada tangan reaching out, pegang tangan I. So I buka mata lah. And I literally nampak satu tangan tengah pegang tangan I. Note, I tidur menghadap dinding. So tangan tu datang dari mana?
Damn.
Tangan tu macam, you know, macam dalam cerita Talk to Me, pale, macam stonish, burnish. I tak tahu macam mana nak explain, but memang creepy gila. Macam Addams Family ni yang tangan bergerak tu je ke?
Oh.
Kan?
Yeah. Okay.
I dah takut sangat. So I tutup mata and try pusing menghadap kakak I. We were sharing a bed, but the moment I nak pusing, ada benda peluk I kuat gila.
Oh my god.
Yelah kau macam spooning dia, kau faham tak?
Oh my god.
Like I literally couldn't move. And then dia bisik dekat telinga I dengan suara lelaki garau. Shh, jangan pusing.
Oh my god.
Adri, kau cakap.
Jangan pusing.
Macam dia halang I daripada tengok something. Next morning, bila I bangun, badan I sakit gila. Actually, rumah I ni memang banyak benda jadi, especially dekat I. Dulu, ustaz pernah datang pagar rumah and he said he felt a presence.
Okay.
Tak pasti apa, but one of it macam budak kecil, which might relate to my next story.
Okay.
Story nombor 2. Was it really my nephew?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, still tinggal dengan parents. Kakak first and second dah kahwin and ada anak, but diorang tak duduk sekali. Usually weekends diorang akan stay over. So one night, kakak kedua I tidur rumah with her kids. Masa tu ada 5 orang. Bilik dia kat bawah, bilik I dekat atas. This time I was unemployed, so memang selalu tidur lambat. Kadang 4 AM baru tidur. So malam tu around pukul 1-2 pagi macam tu, I tengah scroll phone. Suddenly, I dengar bunyi budak-budak main dekat tangga.
Okay.
In my room, memang dekat sangat dengan tangga. So I can hear it clear. Memang suara budak tengah main. I almost nak buka pintu and marah dorang sebab I memang boleh jadi garang auntie sikit lol. But then I realise it's late. And my nephews memang takkan stay awake lewat macam tu. Parents dorang strict. Dorang wajib tidur awal. So I just ignored it. Macam biasalah, I dah lali. Next morning, kakak I cerita something. And this is her POV.
Okay.
That same night, baby dia, around 4 months, menangis non-stop. Which is very unlike him sebab dia baby yang sangat calm.
Oh.
So kakak I bawa dia keluar bilik, duduk-duduk. Dan tiba-tiba, dia nampak satu figure. Seorang budak, exactly macam anak sulung dia. Jalan tiptoe dari ke tangga ke arah dining area.
Okay.
Bilik kakak I dekat living room. And living room dengan dining area memang sebelah-sebelah, side by side. So imagine how dekat that figure was to her. Dia terus pelik sebab anak dia yang first tu tengah tidur dalam bilik. Dia double check, memang anak dia ada dekat situ. Tidur. Lepas tu, kakak I terus masuk bilik. Tak sempat dia nak dodoi kasih tidur anak dia tu. Tak kisahlah anak dia tengah nangis ke apa ke, but she was not risking having an eye contact with a mambang.
Oh my god.
Figure yang dia nampak tadi memang sepicik macam anak dia. From head to toe. Even baju sama. What makes it more scary is that thing tiptoe dengan laju and suddenly stopped exactly time kakak I had a feeling that it's not his son. Lepas dah stop, Dia tiptoe lagi. Wah, this one can be ship production.
Ship production.
Numan
jadi budak tu. Stop.
Okay, Numan. Cut. Okay, Numan, that was good, Numan. Okay, and then when auntie say action, you tiptoe, okay? Dia akan pengurut.
Always tiptoe ni.
Sama. No do that.
Yeah. Okay. Bila kakak cerita, I terus meremang. Sebab maybe that was what I heard dekat tangga. And imagine kalau I buka pintu malam tu, dia suara macam Michael Jackson tiptoe. Kau faham tak? Okay. And imagine kalau I buka pintu malam tu, I rasa I akan nampak benda yang sama. We actually ada CCTV dekat rumah.
Okay.
And since living room and dining area sebelah-sebelah, memang kamera tu capture dua area.
Fuck. Then
Yang peliknya, dalam footage tu tak nampak apa-apa pun. Cuma nampak reaction kakak I je masa dia nampak benda tu.
Oh my god. Then
The video is not scary, but I attached the footage juga just for fun.
okay.
First video, POV living and dining side by side. Second video, a clear reaction of my sister when she saw that thing. That's all from me. Thank you guys. I hope cerita I boleh masuk episod baru CHKS. I doakan you guys murah rezeki di dunia akhirat. Please don't stop doing podcast, okay? Mwah. Thank you so much, Masya Allah.
Oh,
Okay, wanna see?
pukul 2.13 pagi. Oh, nampak macam kakak dia nampak benda. And then like, you know. Damn. Oh yeah. Damn. Okay, aku ada satu cerita ni. Alright, cerita seram tapi sedih. Ayah rukiah orang. Hi Rida and Sofia. I hope you both are well and thank you for making my day every day with your episodes. Anyways, I have a story about my dad who used to rukiah orang. My dad is an ustaz, and dulu when I was in secondary school, he would rukiah people often as a side hustle. And my dad belajar time muda from his uncle in Malaysia as he nak tolong orang. So he would often keluar at odd timings and usually tell the family to sleep early. Kadang me and my siblings dah tidur and he would still WhatsApp the family group chat to inform us about his whereabouts and if he nak balik. Tapi one day, I balik lambat like 1 a.m. and tak boleh tidur. So, I ended up tengok movie dekat living room alone and left my phone in the room charging as it died when I was out. Also, side note, my sofa position is my back. My back will be facing the door kalau I duduk. Kirakan I tak nampak siapa yang buka pintu unless I pusing lah. Anyways, back to the story. So I heard the door unlock at around 2 to 3 a.m. gitu. And wanted to turn around just as the door opened. But my dad cakap, "Adik, tak mau pusing." I froze. Habis tak faham lah kenapa. Then I heard my dad cakap, "Kau jangan ikut masuk." My dad said to me, "Kenapa tak tidur? Kan ayah dah cakap ayah keluar pergi ubat orang." But I didn't know my dad went out as my phone dah mati. And I assumed that my dad was asleep.
Okay.
I didn't want to make him angry or ask anything. So I went to my room. And that's when things got weirder. I tinggal tingkat 5 tau. And somehow my bed is pushed to the edge of the room, close to the window. And time nak tidur ni, I dengar bunyi macam psst, psst. Psst, psst. It mean psst, psst. Macam orang tengah panggil at my window. Like to cat call. Macam orang tengah panggil at my window. And I thought I was crazy because every time I buka mata, dia stop. And since I was sleepy, I just macam brush it off lah and buat bunyi macam because I was annoyed. Tiba-tiba it became a loud knocking on my window.
Oh, shucks.
And I heard a
Sudah.
but it was so clear as if they were at my ears. I terus lari to my dad's room without looking back and woke him up. My dad cakap, "Tidur je, benda tu tak boleh masuk." And I asked my dad to teman me back to my room. And he closed all the windows and my curtains and teman me until I tidur. And the next day, my dad told me that night lepas dia rukiahkan makcik ni, the thing followed him home because it was unhappy with my dad. But luckily my dad dah pagar the house. So that thing targeted me because I was the only one awake in the house. And if time my dad balik and I pusing, I confirm dah nampak dah benda tu diri belakang my dad.
Oh my god.
Also, cerita sedih yang I nak share in regards to my dad's side hustle. A few years back, my dad's uncle in Malaysia yang ajar my dad dulu, his whole family meninggal in a car crash bila diorang nak balik kampung. Ya Allah, kesiannya.
Kesian.
Kereta tu meletup and no one could be saved. My dad's uncle wasn't there during the accident at that point. Dia baru habis ruqyah and nak balik. So apparently, the jinn was unhappy and wanted revenge on my dad's uncle, so it took the lives of his family. And because of that, my dad stopped doing ruqyah because dia tak nak kita anak beranak terlibat. Anyways, end of story. Sorry if it's not scary, but it was my first encounter with such things. I dah tak nak tidur lambat dah. Ha ha ha. I hope you both enjoyed the story and take care. Love you both. Warmest regards, Anonymous. Oh, tapi macam mana diorang tahu it's a revenge thing
Kan. Tahu it's just coincidence kan.
Yeah. Ajal maut, you know. Yeah, but maybe it's correlated to pakcik dia yang pun tengah buat ruqyah ke apa. Aku tak tahulah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, this kind of story yang macam ikut balik reminded me of macam that happened to my relative ah.
Why?
So time tu macam my abang saudara aku, dia suka pergi masa zaman nakal lah. Dia suka pergi explore lah, you know, like macam ghost hunting, paranormal, blah blah, dengan macam budak-budak motor, blah blah. And then he have a girlfriend lah kan. At that point of time, he had a girlfriend. And then, of course, he still stays with my nenek saudara. And then bila dia balik macam odd hours lah, macam pukul 3-4 pagi tu. So you know how bila kau balik rumah, and then mak dia terbangun, mak dia nak pergi toilet or something lah. Mak dia keluar, macam kau tahu kan gelap kan. Gelap macam like usually rumah Melayu kita will just off everything before we go to bed, right?
Yeah.
So time macam aku macam baru keluar bilik macam like itu. And then saya abang saudara aku balik. Abang saudara aku buka kunci and macam is also walking in the dark lah. And then nenek saudara aku macam sound tau, macam kau malam-malam pun nak bawa girlfriend kau balik. Because she from her POV, she saw like a girl was like, kau tahu like behind my abang saudara. Macam kau tahu bila macam kau creep into someone's house, macam let's say kau creep into your boyfriend's house kan, kau macam jangan kasi mak I dengar kan. Yeah, it's like that. So my makcik was like nak marah pasal macam kau apa ni malam-malam ikut macam tak tahu nak balik rumah. Macam kau ikut boyfriend kau balik. Ya.
Lepas tu
And then macam kau apa ni malam-malam pun kau nak bawa girlfriend balik. So abang saudara aku macam like, girlfriend? Then macam that thing just vanish lah.
oh my god.
So ni saudara aku macam mak tadi nampak, ingat Ika, let's say girlfriend dia, ingat Ika ikut kau balik. Mak merepek. And then
damn.
Yeah, it was so scary.
You damn.
Yeah, like it's like macam yeah, aku imagine.
Itulah guys, selalu ada habit balik dekat bawah tu kau dah baca ayat kursi.
Betul.
3 kul. Make it a habit. Aku make it a habit.
Yeah.
Sebab aku suka merayap, bawa anak-anak aku pergi mana-mana semua kan. So always make it a habit. Baca ayat kursi 3 kul. Dalam lift tu kau tengah macam Adri selalu kacau aku.
Di tengah jalan dia macam aku tengok baca okay.
Yeah. Aku pun
Kan?
lepas keluar kapak aku will always baca.
Macam dah start baca.
Yeah.
Keluar kereta je dah. Kerana dia berbual dengan aku bodoh. Baca.
Kadang the thing is
Kamit,
betul, aku tak baca kuat-kuat apa. So sometimes macam like kat dalam kereta dah start baca, aku pula senang distracted. Sometimes Mr. Manager tanya aku benda, kau tahu soalan kerja, nanti aku macam sorry like, macam then aku kena continue like, kau faham tak? Kau kena fokus.
Kau kena fokus.
Tapi paling kelakar aku pernah solat dengan Noman. Aku jadi imam. So aku tengah solat, aku selalu tahan ketawa tau. Dia tak tahu apa dia baca. Nanti dia macam aku macam tak boleh fokus.
And babe, I could hear it from my master bedroom. Diorang solat dekat the toy room. So aku dengar macam Adri jadi imam kan. Background Noman. Aku tak apa budak ni.
Cute.
And dia kalau dia so tengok kita. Mami? Mami.
Best part bila Pak beri salam, aku beri salam ke kanan, nanti tu muka aku sama. Atau aku kena turnkan kepala dia ke kanan. Manual.
Cute lah. Cute
lah. Ya, okay guys. So, siapa tak nak rumah nampak nampak macam sarang hantu, boleh engage Baby Design lah untuk ubah suai rumah anda. Kalau you nak dapat rumah ke, kalau you ada rumah tapi nak macam ubah suai pun boleh.
Okay, aku ada satu cerita ni. Alright, it's about a band camp, okay, dekat Bartley. Alright. Hi girlies, akak nak cerita sikit. Tak tahulah how scary is this lah. But I think it's more of illogical. Macam tak masuk akal punya kejadian. Sebab tak nampak apa-apa seram. But it's obviously not normal. Okay, kita tengoklah cerita dia. Benda ni normal atau tidak, okay? Okay, many years ago, we were having a 3 days 2 night band camp dekat sekolah. I was one of the Sec 3s at that point of time. So banyaklah kerja committees yang nak kena buat. On the first day, we had some drill practices dekat hall. So at the end of the day, we went to make sure everything is clear lah. One of my friends and I pergi dekat belakang stage nak off lampu. You know the dual switch system, the kind yang on off same set of lights from 2 different switches. We were both at one side of the stage. Kita off lampu, walked off, and then it switched back on. We both looked at each other. We went back, off again, walked off, and it went on again. We decided, okay lah, something wrong with the other switch agaknya. So we went off with the lights on. While walking across the hall, I think both of us macam dah takut lah, tapi tak nak tunjuk. So kita macam joking and laughing out loud. Tak ada orang lain dekat hall malam tu. The rest of the members tengah debrief dekat band room. I laughed out at a joke my friend made. And then kan, about 2-3 seconds after I laughed, the echo of my laugh came back. Macam kata, baru dia 2-3 seconds later tau. Okay, it didn't make sense. Sebab kalau you laugh ha 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 and ada echo, by the time you get to the second ha, the echo of the first ha would have come back. Tapi ni 2-3 seconds gap, lambat. I know both of us heard it, but neither one of us to say anything. Dia macam mock kau.
What is the science behind echo? Where can the sound travel lah?
Ada
Kan?
Ada apa? Kita learn about echo in secondary school, tak silap aku.
Untuk aku, kelas aku tak.
How the sound bounce back Aku kita tak pernah belajar pasal echo, tapi aku tak
Physics
ingat.
Physics babe.
Physics. Yeah, physics. Physics.
Kita tak ada subjek tu.
Ya ke? Physics dia apa? Physics, bio, chem.
Kita tak ada tu.
Habis korang punya apa?
Kita computer applications, EBS.
Bestnya belajar pasal komputer.
Tapi kes komputer yang kes zaman wow punya kes macam like
It's wild.
ya, macam
Yang
coding.
CPU kena pakai kaki ke apa?
Correct. Macam hard disk, how to insert the hard disk, how to insert.
Oh, very dry lah actually.
Very and I feel like it can be an interesting topic kan. Tapi the teachers are boring. So aku rasa untuk orang-orang normal tech kan, what the school system need to do is to always put the best teachers and macam cikgu-cikgu gerik and
I
macam
agree.
entertainer for the normal tech students.
I agree.
Because kita punya brain kan, kita macam need entertainment. Kau tak boleh macam like, okay, so for the kita boleh
Faham aku.
Minda dah dekat Swensen kan, dah
Yeah.
macam tengah on the swing.
Oh, aku faham.
Kalau cikgu tu interesting, very macam like, okay, kita will be like,
Betul. Ada je. Dulu kat secondary school aku, the normal tech teachers are always the fun ones. And aku so macam, the classes are always very rowdy tau. Tapi fun sebab cikgu tu boleh carry. Faham tak? Tapi aku punya semua boring. Okay. So the next day, about 4-ish PM, while the rest tengah start practice, me and another senior went up to the teacher's room to get something from our teacher in charge lah, Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan cakap, oh, it's okay, I'm going down anyway. I'll bring it with me.
Kau suka part macam role play jadi cikgu
Cina.
Cikgu Cina.
talent aku. Oh, it's okay. I'm going out anyway. I'll bring it with me. 3 of us walked together. He was talking to us, asking us questions, yada yada. Halfway down the long staircase, I looked back and he was not there.
Where's Mr. Tan?
Mr. Tan tak ada ni. Dia hilang. I tanya my friend and she was like, dia baru berbual dengan kita apa? Maybe he forgot something. Tapi macam weird to just turn back with no warning lah kan.
Correct.
But we were like, okay lah, whatever. Just proceed back to the band room. Open the door. And guess who was sitting in the band room?
Mr. Tan.
Mr. Tan. At the front. Talking to literally the band. It was Mr. Tan. We both look at each other. And macam meremang segala bulu dekat badan. But we decided not to speak about it. And just make some tak masuk akal excuses. Background, teacher's office, 2 tingkat, dalam ada lift. So nak sedapkan hati, cakap he just took that lift down. But that tak make sense actually sebab the timing is not right. And during school holidays, selalu first level office, which is the HOD room, is locked. The rest of the camp thankfully went well for us. Tapi I rasa whatever that thing is pun penat kacau kita orang sebab kita asyik nak husnuzon je kerja. So I guess it's real lah. Jangan tunjukkan sangat guys kalau takut. These things feed on our fear. Dah tu je. Wassalam. Wassalam.
Aku nak tanya.
Ya.
Time sekolah music class, kenapa kita kena belajar yang benda bodoh tu?
Recorder. Kenapa dalam framework ada recorder punya
kenapa?
curriculum?
Like why must it be recorder? And like
Coordination, hand-eye coordination.
there's other things macam guitar also hand-eye.
Difficult.
At least something.
Difficult.
I've
Guitar is
never
difficult.
seen.
But recorder tak pernah macam made it to the stage. Macam orang main the solo
Yeah.
concert or what. It's always flute or
Guys,
seruling.
listen guys. It's just for hand-eye coordination.
It's for meme, I think.
It's not for meme.
No,
It's just that's the main
That's
point.
waste time. I'm pretty sure the teacher that is teaching kan.
Korang pernah
Bunyi dia
practice
bodoh.
sampai korang picit tapi tangan korang ada circle tu. Pasal
Tak, aku macam tak faham. Macam aku always wonder, even as a student, aku was
Yeah.
like, why must we learn this? Pasal I've never seen a recorder. Orang main like macam professionally, like a violinist, at least something lah kan. Piano.
Susah. Tu semua susah.
At least babe, kita belajar recorder bodoh tu pun tak ada orang yang case excel ni.
No, it's just for hand-eye coordination aku rasa. Learning about beat is something very simple. Simple. Music instrument yang sangat simple. Taklah, kau gini je. Kau tutup lubang belakang.
Okay.
Aku ingat. Kau tutup lubang belakang. Tangan kau gini. Kau main gini-gini je apa. 3 jari je apa.
Main lah bongo. Kau boleh main drum kan, macam
Drum. Drum pun ada apa. Yang simple-simplenya.
betul triangle pun satu.
Mak Aisyah aku main cek tu lagi senang. Tak payah nak tutup lubang apa-apa.
Bunyi dia dah bodoh Bunyi dia
People
bodoh.
just making noise.
Betul.
Tak pernah lah aku pass by kelas yang kes, ui merdunya.
Satu kelas kalau semua tiup recorder, jahanam.
Kan. Macam tak pernah aku lalu kelas yang macam wow, this class is good at recording. No.
It's annoying. The sound is annoying.
So may I ask for the cikgu-cikgu yang dengar kita punya podcast, kenapa cikgu? Kenapa masih ada? Ada ke masih ada ke? Please, and if you guys are still in secondary school, also let us know if
Secondary school ada music class ke?
It's secondary school, babe.
Primary school.
No bro, it's
Aku
secondary
primary school.
I remember secondary school aku dah kakak-kakak.
Seriously, kena main recorder tu. Aku primary school Syul, kena main recorder tu.
Aku secondary school sure.
Syah.
Tapi time yang macam baru-baru dapat recorder, kau excited apa? Kan?
Oh.
Oh my god, it's a music instrument.
Macam
Kau bangga tau pegang tu
beli
recorder.
kat book
Bookstore.
Bookstore.
Habis dia ada casing dia kan.
Yes.
Aku kalau aku hilang casing dia, nanti aku beli baru. Aku macam tak puas.
Kenapa
Kotor lah macam.
Cik.
Habis kena letak dalam kau tahu yang that transparent file. Kau letak kat dalam tu.
Oh yes.
Music file.
Kan
Kau letak
music
dalam
file. Step je music file. Padahal boleh ajar ukulele.
susah. No, but it's like a different kind of skill, and maybe cost wise is expensive to have so many ukulele in class. Seorang ada satu. Recorder tu cheap je, that's why bunyi dia macam tu. Aku rasa ni aku think that it's really for just learning the basic rhythm.
Workshop korang ada harmonika.
Tak ada lah.
Tapi bau.
Bacin oh.
Harmonika. Aku pernah salah. Harmonika aku.
Yang clapper
Monica kat rumah.
Monica kat rumah aku. Yang clapper
Tu dia bagi castanet or something Yang kali biru dengan merah kan.
Castanet
Kayu tu.
Castanet.
Tak sih.
Okay, kau tahu yang dulu kan aku masuk band, brass band kan, all the instrument yang besar-besar. Kau tahu yang jalan pipe tu semua kan, dia last, yelah macam dia ada macam pusing-pusing semua apa, dia punya silver tu kan. Dia at the end, dia ada macam outlet tau.
Okay.
Kau tahu outlet tu untuk apa?
Untuk apa?
Untuk Ailio Asyal.
You.
Yeah, it's that gross. So that's why satu instrumen satu. Satu instrumen satu.
Kau main apa dulu?
Aku main horn. Bukan horn yang Bukan. Dia macam instrumen besar.
Serius? Ada gambar?
Macam jiran ya.
Itu yang tiup keledai kena
Macam
suat.
jiran bujang lapuk kan, yang dia tu.
Ni kan? Mazna kan?
Lama.
Iya ke bang? Ini Mazna. Bukanlah bang.
Mana rembat dia sial. Rembat dia. Kena ikat.
Ini Mazna. Bukanlah pintu bang.
Dia yang memekak kan, main trombon kan malam buta.
Oh, so kau main trombon lah?
Tak, aku punya instrumen ni horn. Benda ni. Ya, so benda gini keluar, outlet is
Sekejap, kau pandai lah main tu?
pandai.
Macam kau belajar? Like dia will ajar?
Aku masuk CCA.
Sofia pet.
Dia macam kau tak boleh put your lips together. You need to have a small gap and then you vibrate it. Oh my god, I still have the skill.
Ada try?
Boleh.
I got lip filler, so I cannot do. Macam mana?
Korang kena tengok muka audio guy.
That's a weird skill to have.
Do it again. Wow.
Well,
Dia macam kau dalam MRT kau tak tahan nak kentut, tapi kau keluar sikit-sikit.
bunyi and busuk punya. Kau tahu bau tai, celah tai kat pantat kau. Bau gitu bunyi kentut ni. It's a skill. Dia first lesson tu kau kena pakai mouthpiece aja, bukan pegang instrumen. Mouthpiece tu, benda tu kau tiup lah sampai abang Jamil mampus. Satu lesson tu.
And then yang macam cikgu CCA tu macam cakap, okay Sofia, awak main awak main bass gitar.
Dia tengok. Dia tengok.
Seperti gitar iram twist.
Dia tengok badan kau. In a way, serious. Pasal first aku main, diorang kasih aku main clarinet. And clarinet is a form of trumpet. Kau tahu yang panjang. Aku proud Syul. Macam Squidward. Squidward, yes. Squidward plays a clarinet. Yes. So, aku main. So first kan, dia punya first step kan is practice mouthpiece tu. So ada orang really tak boleh buat. So bila diorang tak boleh buat, dia tolak pergi percussion.
Percussion main?
Percussion yang main tangannya.
Oh tu fun sih. Kan?
Tak Syul.
Kan? Percussion fun apa?
Ya ke?
Nampak cool lah kan?
Yang drum
Kalau
besar
kau
dengan
kena-
2 stick kan.
And kau kena march kan?
Tak, Tak, aku punya bukan marching band. Aku punya bukan marching band. Aku punya is the concert band.
Concert. Aku ingat kau
Concert
marching band punya siapa.
Tu Bizio.
Corner coordination.
Tengah
Kau
bawa
ke sini, kau ke sana.
But it was good times. It was fun. Yep. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this episode. This episode is brought to you by Big T Design. Yeah, terima kasih, guys. And we see y'all in the next episode.
Bye.
Hey girlies, we're back with Home Talk with Big T Design dengan Abang Alfian. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Okay. Kita ada soalan-soalan untuk Abang Alfian hari ini. Silakan Wirda.
Okay. This question is, aku tak sabar nak tanya Abang Fian. Okay. If toxic men were a home style,
Okay.
what would they be?
What would they be?
Macam if they are an interior style,
Okay.
what would they be?
Toxic men.
Toxic men.
Toxic man.
I already have an answer for it, but I'm waiting for Abang Fian's answer.
Aku pun macam dah.
Apa? Dia punya renovation ke?
Dia punya style lah, the home style macam.
The home style.
Oh, home style Oh, buaya lah. Buaya den lah, den. Macam maybe ada den.
Oh,
Macam dia jadi buaya kan? Toxic man kan? Buaya kan?
Buaya darat.
Buaya darat.
Oh, so macam bachelor's den.
Kira macam masuk je macam cave.
Oh, itu toxic man lah.
macam gelap.
Gelap. Macam
Penyangak
buaya
lah, macam kau masuk dalam buaya punya mulut lah.
Yeah. Macam elemen gitu lah. Kalau kita nak main betul design kan.
Oh, the macam very dark.
Yes.
Oh, I would say industrial. Kau wire tergantung-gantung.
Wire tergantung.
You are in a hazardous place.
Cement screed flooring.
You are in a very hazardous place, my dear. Please put on your helmet.
Yes, industrial movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Next one is, okay, one material that instantly cheapens the whole house. Material macam it could be, contoh wood ke, marble ke.
Cheapens Make the look very cheap
Yes.
I think still lights Lights.
Lights.
Yeah, lights.
Light.
Like okay, lampu.
Oh, lampu.
Because you can know you are trying to save, right? Ni not I try to say, but sometimes some Singaporeans they like to go Malaysia to shop, right?
Yeah.
Then they like to buy those lights yang diorang tengah clearing tu.
Oh, yeah. Same.
So when I see, ni abang beli kat mana? Oh, kat Malaysia. Tengah flash sale
Oh.
Dia sengaja clear. Because dah tak orang pakai lagi lampu tu.
Asal lampu-lampu dia, how does
Dia
it
macam
look like?
as simple as sekarang dah tak ada lagi lampu yang macam letak kat false ceiling tu kan. Ada macam glass.
False ceiling ada glass.
Glass dekat false ceiling.
Yang lampu tu, dia punya bulb tu, dia punya downlight tu macam ada glass punya frame. Dah tak ada lagi dah. Sekarang semua macam PVC. Then very old school punya ni I got that type of client yang beli that type of lights before.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, macam people pay too much attention on interior tau. Macam like, okay, I want wabi-sabi, I want tapi they don't really macam
Pay attention to lights
kan?
Yeah.
Pay attention to Kalau kau wabi-sabi pun kan, kau lime wash sini, lime wash balik. Tapi kalau lampu hospital
tak jadi.
Jadi wasabi.
Jadi
Wasabi.
Kan
betul.
Kan because wafi pula. Wafi siapa dek? Wabi-sabi dia macam play with really soft lightings. Am I right, Mr.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
I can
Yes,
work
yes,
for
yes.
Big T Design
You
lah.
can. You got the eye for it.
I want. Yes, I'm going to.
Yeah, you should do it. Yeah. Tadi aku nak cakap sebuah benda. Aku lupa lah. Alamak. Aku selalu.
Wabi-sabi.
Tak ada. Tak apa. Nanti kalau aku ingat aku.
Okay.
Apa?
Damn. This could be like debatable lah.
Okay.
Okay.
Is gold hardware still classy or overdone?
Gold.
Cool.
Classy.
Classy ya.
Classy.
What?
For me, Menurut Bunda.
Menurutmu?
Overdone.
Overdone.
Mu?
If too much,
Yes.
I feel it cheapens the look. I feel.
A bit saja lah.
And if it's the gold, like gold,
Gold, you know, I'm talking about gold, not brass.
the shiny
The
I
shiny.
think brass gold is nice.
brass
Brass
gold is
is
nice. Like antique gold.
Yes.
But not so much also. Like macam just like little
Sikit.
details.
Betul.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if the shiny gold, I don't like
Tu tak
it.
boleh.
Cannot.
Tu that's why maksud aku overdone. Tu macam
yes.
it cheapens the look lah. Instead of it looking expensive,
Betul.
it cheapens the look.
Betul.
Oh, I wanted to say, tadi kau cakap material yang cheapens the look kan. What are your thoughts on shiny laminates?
Shiny.
Pun
Oh, yang
cheapen.
kitchen
Cheapen.
Yeah. Kan?
Dah tak ramai orang pakai
Macam
lagi.
kereta.
Kereta.
Kan kereta ni.
Ya macam kau tahu macam yang glossy cabinet glossy punya macam no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's a big no lah. Right.
I've never seen though. Like I mean, I've seen pictures tapi aku tak pernah nampak like real life.
Yeah.
Is it macam like, is it low maintenance thing macam at the kitchen?
Tapi sekarang
So it's
ada yang matte laminate but surface smooth. Nowadays got that type of technology already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last time matte dia a bit kasar, so nak
Yes.
bersih tu macam orang rasa fikir macam susah.
Faham.
Yeah, but I think it's all based on yourself lah.
Yeah,
Kalau dah
yeah.
kena dah stain sikit lap lah straight away. Tak mau kasih dia
correct.
rot situ.
Yes,
Betul.
correct.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think of you know black toilet punya
Oh,
black
no.
toilet wear?
Oh my god, no.
No. Dia-
I've learned my lesson. No.
Dia akan ada marks, dia akan chip off.
Yes.
Eh.
Aku punya teruk apa, aku punya tapware.
What about black toilet bowl?
Black toilet bowl.
No. Also no.
Why? Tell me more.
Okay, to me number one is cleanliness.
Yes.
Kau cannot see all the dirt and the shit.
Oh, shite.
Yeah, you get what I mean?
Yes.
Kan cleanliness.
Number
Number 2 is your own well-being. You cannot see the color of your ni.
Oh yes.
I mean, it's always good to check to see
Yeah.
how hydrated you are and stuff like that. The color of your poopy, whatever. Kau tak boleh check pasal dia hitam.
Betul kalau berdarah.
Kau berdarah aku tak tahu.
Kau makan kaca berdarah. Tak boleh tahu Syul.
Betul. So cleanliness, well-being dengan watermarks.
Yeah, that one I
Itu
saw.
teruk. Watermarks
Watermarks.
dia teruk.
Yeah.
You know macam oh my god.
Tak hilang easily, right?
Cannot.
Yeah, dah tak ada lagi dah. Not people use really blacknya.
But some people like matte
Ada kat
black.
bawah is on discount. Toilet.
Kat
That's why discount. Tak orang beli lagi.
Yeah.
Kalau kau suka black toilet bowl, then you have to be aware of all these things lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Abang Alfian, ada tak macam rumah yang you pernah buat yang dorang pasang Toto toilet bowl?
Toto?
Toto toilet bowl. The expensive toilet bowl yang
Oh,
macam
tak pernah.
Jepun-Jepun.
tak pernah
Damn,
Tak
that's
pernah.
dream
Not-
toilet bowl saya.
Not macam well versed in our culture sangat
Pasal kita ada bidet spray kan?
Correct.
Ah.
Tu pun ada apa remote macam dia boleh macam dry kan.
Betul.
That's all.
Tapi tu best.
If I won't tell if I win the lottery, but you can see it from my
From
house.
your toilet bowl number 1. Dia punya ni ada heated seat dah.
Betul kan. Okay, be honest. How much should people realistically set aside for renovation? Kalau whole house,
Whole house?
resale lah. Okay,
Resale.
Diorang nak buat balik semua.
Maybe the basic one 4 room normally 4 room, right? 4 room whole house should be around 70-80 lah.
Realistically.
Tu we hacking everything.
Overhaul lah semua.
Tu kirakan full lengkap wardrobe semua lah. Because I'm doing one EA right now dekat Woodlands. EA tu pun 80,000. Tapi tu the hack everything. Tapi buat kitchen je. Kitchen carpentry je. So it's possible kalau I would say kalau 4 room betul we just look at the kitchen maybe 50-60k pun boleh.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
That is interesting.
Okay, is 30k renovation in Singapore even possible anymore?
30k BTO possible.
BTO lah.
BTO possible.
But minimal lah, kan?
Basic
BTO, I think if the flooring is really given by HDB, okay, you can get one kitchen, you can get one wardrobe, painting pun termasuk. Electrical I think you can factor in also.
Yeah.
And if you want you can actually overlay one toilet lah.
Oh.
Toilet dapat overlay. Then even maybe your feature wall lah, yang nak buat macam partition arc sikit lah.
Yes.
Lepas.
Boleh lepas.
30,000.
So do look around lah, compare.
Yes. Ni Abang Afian dah cakap. So to all the BTO homeowners yang akan dapat kunci,
Yes.
Abang Afian cakap 30k lepas lah.
Yeah, lepas.
Lepas.
Because I feel I firmly stand that our price is mid-range. Not too cheap, not too expensive.
Yes.
But it's quality work.
It's quality work. Ya, betul. So kalau korang minta quotation, jangan lupa reach out to Bipti Design and ask for your quotation. And terima kasih Abang Fian.
Okay.
Terima kasih Abang Afian.
See you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Bye.